Welcome, everybody, to this episode of The Monthly Blend, a monthly video podcast brought to you by Next, powered by Shulman Rogers and the Connectpreneur community. I'm Tien. I'm the founder and host of the Big Idea Connectpreneur community, which is a global community of over 35,000 investors, founders, and business leaders. And I'm also the CEO of Opus 8, which helps companies and fund managers raise money through our network of over 4,000 accredited private investors, angels, and family offices throughout the United States. Along with my co-host, Anthony Mellon, who's the founder and chair of Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, we are thrilled to bring you this monthly video podcast, which covers trends, information, as well as fascinating interviews with game changers and newsmakers here in the DC, Baltimore region. Anthony and I started this podcast a little over 3 years ago as a way to increase awareness of cool, innovative happenings in our region, to break down silos, and to serve as a mechanism to do our part to help bring the region together to help foster innovation and entrepreneurship here. And today will be our inaugural 2025 episode. It'll be Anthony and I talking about what we think the new year looks like, as well as some plans for what Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, is doing, as well as what Connectpreneur is doing too. So we hope you guys enjoy it. And let me turn things over to Anthony.
Great. Thanks, Tien. Great to be with you here at the beginning of 2025. I know we're both excited thinking about this year. What are some of the things you're seeing and hearing about kind of the startup ecosystem and investing and entrepreneurial activity for 25?
Yeah, I want to get to that in a second. I totally am remiss in congratulating you guys for being nominated for the third year in a row as the Startup Law Firm of the Year by, is it Legal Week?
Yes, we just found out today for the third year we were selected as a finalist for the best law firm in the U.S. for enabling startup success. This is an award we've been a finalist for since 23 and won last year. So thank you very much. Very, very honored and excited.
Very well-deserved accolade. So good luck, and hopefully you'll do a repeat this year.
Thank you.
As far as Connectpreneur goes, we're chugging along. We're going to be doing 14 in-person events this year, 7 in the Mid-Atlantic region. That includes Baltimore, DC, Northern Virginia, and Montgomery County, Maryland. And we're going to do 7 on the West Coast, which are 4 events that we're hosting, and then 3 that we're doing with partners in Orange County, California. So we're planning to do events in Las Vegas in December, as well as we just did one in San Francisco. We had a 400-person investor brunch at JP Morgan. And we plan to we're going to do an event in Boston at Bio in June. So we'll be in San Diego in the fall again, and San Francisco. So yeah, we're going to be busy with those. We're going to continue doing the 10 virtual startup pitch events. We call them rocket pitches. They're the largest monthly investor pitch events in the world. Those have been going well. As long as they go well, we're going to keep doing it. In terms of like segments, so we're going to continue to focus on healthcare and life sciences, which is about half of our business. Also things like AI, digital health, and fintech, I think, are areas that we're seeing a lot more activity in. And also, interestingly enough, we've been getting some interest from the microcap sector. So sort of thinly traded public companies that are raising money, they need money, but they don't have analyst coverage and they don't have a lot of trading volume. So we've been working with some of them, and I think we'll probably continue doing that. I'm going to go to a microcap conference up in New Jersey next week. So stay tuned on that. But, we're pretty much going to continue helping companies raise capital and putting founders together with capital sources. And, we really appreciate the support of partners like Next, powered by Shulman Rogers. You guys have been awesome. And, we've really appreciated your support over the last 10 years or so. And we're going into our 14th year, by the way. So amazing that we've been doing it this long. But I tip my hat to a great team that we have. And we're still having fun, lots of fun doing this. We love the fact that we're supporting the entrepreneurial ecosystem and doing some good in that we're helping these companies raise money in a very difficult funding environment. And hopefully that leads to more employment and, them taking some of these disruptive technologies to market.
After 14 years, which is an amazing accomplishment, and you are definitely Connectpreneur And you are a center of gravity in our regional ecosystem here, the startup ecosystem. And it's exciting to see how you, over the last couple of years, have been rapidly expanding to other cities around the country and bringing the magic of what makes Connectpreneur so special to these other cities. So very exciting, and look forward to watching that progress over the coming year. The other thing I wanted to ask you just a little bit about is, I know you've had a very busy January in terms of you attended two of the biggest events of the year, but both within weeks of each other in January. One on the technology side when you went to CES in Las Vegas, and the other in San Francisco at JP Morgan's healthcare conference, which is kind of an equally big and important conference for the healthcare industry. And just wondering, kind of, maybe you could share with our listeners today, from both the technology side and the healthcare side, kind of what you saw and heard and what you can share with people about both of those events.
Yeah, this was my first visit to CES. So I was invited to speak at the AI House conference, and I just decided, let me go. I want to feel it, see it, and experience it. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big show. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Lots of people in town, half-hour Uber waits, half hour to go 2 miles, a lot of walking. But I think the main theme from CES was AI. Those are the top three. Obviously, it was kicked off by Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. And, he actually launched a supercomputer that can sit on your desk for like $3,000. It's 100 times more powerful than sort of your typical desktop. That was a big one. And, people were talking about large language models and moving into what they call agentic AI. So, AI agents, which is basically having AI do sort of your basic administrative and easy to do things. But then that's going to become more mature, as well as applying AI into physical AI. So what's physical AI? That's more like devices, robots, autonomous vehicles. And the floor was covered with vendors like Samsung, John Deere, all the major manufacturers that are showcasing their products with different use cases. So Samsung and John Deere were showing some eco-friendly, environmental-oriented vehicles. There were a lot of autonomous vehicles. One of the coolest ones I saw was from a Chinese manufacturer. It's a one-seat helicopter-looking like thing that had 6 rotors on it. It could do 100 miles an hour on the ground, and it can also fly like a helicopter. It was crazy, the stuff that's being developed right now. I don't think you or I would want to risk it today, but it was cool. And I saw the videos of it, so it looks like it really works. Robotics was big. And also smart health. So you're starting to see, I saw some like stuff where sensors are incorporated into textiles. They're making clothing with it. Fitness trackers are becoming, very, very smart. So you're seeing the application of digital health too. So not just talk about AI on a general basis, but also seeing the products out there. It's probably worth going for anyone who's interested in technology. It's definitely consumer oriented. You and I are more in the B2B side, but we are interested in technology. So from that standpoint, it was super interesting. I did participate in 2 sort of conferences within the conference. One was a neurotechnology conference. So they were talking about implantables and other types of products that could measure things like brain waves and heart rate and stress levels, and very interesting vendors from all over the world too. So and then I was part of the AI House, and that was a very interesting program that Pete Erickson and the Modev guys put on. So we exhibited both, and I spoke at the AI House, and it was great to get, different thoughts. One thing I'll leave you with on CES. So I was on this panel of investors, and the guy next to me was a BlackRock investor. So he's from BlackRock, and he was talking about the macro, so there's $100 trillion dollar world economy, of which 80 trillion is attributable to labor costs. And the thought was, how many tens of trillions are going to be cut with the emergence of artificial intelligence? And I know my world, the CX customer service world, I think the estimated number is 80% of the jobs are going to be, displaced or have to be augmented. So if you don't use 80%, maybe use 20 or 30%. You're still talking giant numbers. So we have to be ready for what could happen soon.
There is so much to see and do and learn in that one place. And that's certainly one of the big questions people are talking about, and I hear people talking about in terms of work displacement from AI on top of just work enablement and kind of trying to understand the impact. So from Las Vegas, you went off to San Francisco for JP Morgan's healthcare conference. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was more in our sweet spot because that's definitely an investor conference. We had about 600 of our investors out there. So we hosted a nice brunch on Sunday to kick off the event. And that was very well attended. I think JP Morgan, the takeaways, and I'm writing a blog post about this, but probably talked to about 200 people or so and had 30 formal meetings and lots of sideline conversations. And we did attend several events while we were out there. But from a capital market standpoint, last year and the year before, things were a little more sanguine, a little more optimistic. This year, I didn't get that. Also, I noticed attendance was way down. I don't know what the percentage down it was, but my guess is 25% fewer people than normally. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. But some of the big themes were, strategic M&A. So Lilly and J&J announced some pretty big, noteworthy deals while we were out there. Of course, that's corporate. That's not, private equity or M&A. So I'm sorry, or IPO. So until the capital markets from an IPO standpoint start becoming a little more loose, unfortunately, you're going to see no trickle down effects. So in other words, I think it's still going to be pretty cold. The biotech winter will continue probably until the IPO markets open up. But, some of the things that I saw were lots of talk about AI, operational AI, where it's helping with drug discovery, precision medicine. So, AI for digital health and precision medicine. Some talk about regulatory with the new administration. So mixed, I would say. Some people were pessimistic. It depends on the sector they were in. And some people were more optimistic. So from a regulatory standpoint, they're hoping that the new administration is tech focused, that they are, focused on being business friendly, like lower taxes and less regulation. But I guess some of that it's going to really remain to be seen. So our sweet spot of sort of pre-A and A round type companies, still guys out there, working hard to raise capital. Some people have had some success finding lead investors. A lot of guys were out there looking for lead investors. So I think, we're still feeling the effects. It's not like it was 3 years ago. And the investors that invested 3 years ago, they got burned. So they're very cautious, looking at 2 to 3x the number of deals that they would normally look at to write a check. And it's pretty slow out there. So, the lesson is just be patient, be lean, and then try to do your best to survive until things do warm up a little bit. But overall, it was a good conference. It's, as you know, when you get back from a long trip, there's still a lot of decompression and recovery follow-up. So the team and I are really focused on that right now, but it was well worth it. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then as we look forward to 2025, we're looking forward to another year of great guests on the Monthly Blend. We've had the honor of having leaders and thought leaders and pioneers in so many different sectors of the business in the region, from investors to entrepreneurs to educators and service providers, different types of ecosystem builders. So we look forward to more of that this year. And we'll be announcing soon who our guests will be for some of the upcoming episodes. And thank you all for joining us, Tien. Thank you for sharing your experiences at JP Morgan and CES. And we look forward to another year of the Monthly Blend.